we're going to do here with this soya bolognese, we're going to take first of all the olive oil. Okay, I've got a pan here. I'm just going to pop this onto a medium to high heat. I'm just going to pop in the olive oil, also the onions. Okay, and we're going to start bringing these up to a nice little sizzle. And we're going to soften the onions here. So again for about 5 minutes, but I don't want them to brown, I just want them to soften. Okay, so while this is softening down nicely, we're also going to take some of the garlic and the ginger, and this is in one of our recipes as well, the garlic and ginger marinade. I'm just going to pop in a couple of tablespoons into there. Now the onions have softened, we're just going to add in the soya mince. We're going to add in the oregano, and again, if you've got any fresh, perfect. If not, then dried or mixed herbs. We're then going to start adding in the tomatoes. We take in some of the whole tomatoes, we blanch them off, we peel the skins, and I just chop them down, and I'm just going to add these into the whole soya mince combination. Depending on what soya mince you use, really depends on how much liquid it absorbs in as well, so we really need to gauge it, and we can always add a little bit, and if you need to add any more to get a good consistency, add a little bit more. Now because soya is just a little teeny little bit bland, you do need to rev it up a little bit, and my suggestion is obviously you've got in some tomato puree which goes in, and that's great, which is fantastic. Okay, but if you've got any ketchup lying around in your cupboard, that really puts a different spicy tone to it, and it just gives it that icing on the cake. And again, it's utilising what ingredients you've got in the cupboard. If you haven't got tomato puree or tomato paste, then ketchup's just fine. Soya absorbs a lot of liquid, so you really need to, reduce this down. And then when you start adding in your, your red wine and your balsamic and some other ingredients as well, although it seems a lot of liquid, you just really need to juggle it, because depending on what soya mince you use, depends on obviously the consistency that absorbs. I'm going to start adding in the vegetable stock. Okay. Along with some tomato juice, and I'm not going to put all the tomato juice in there. I'm just going to keep some of it back, because again, what we talked about before about the soya absorbing liquid, and depending on what kind of soya we're using, and we can always add, but you can never take away. Add in some of the red wine. Wonderful. Just going to pop in just a little bit of nutmeg as well. Right, okay, now this has been ticking away and bubbling quite merrily for around 20 minutes now, and it's smelling really, really good. Tasting good as well. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to pop in the ripped basil leaves, and rather than chop them, just really rip them in, because it gives it some wonderful flavour, and it just really puts a nice little perfume to the actual bolognese. This is it reduced down, okay, and it's reduced down quite a lot. Now, I don't know about you, I like mine a wetter, so again, I've got a little bit more wine left over, and it just seems a shame to waste it. You might as well just put it all in. If you're unsure on how much pasta to use, there is a portion calculator online which you can see listed just below, and again, that gives you a great balance on how much to cook. I've got here enough for 4 people, okay, and I'm just going to pop that in to the water. This bread here is old bread which I've not used, okay, and all I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to chop these into portion pieces. I'm going to take the marge into the bowl, add in the garlic and ginger marinade. I've just spreaded it on some old bread, and I'm just going to pop this on a tray. I'm just going to shove this under the grill. Simple as that. See how they look? Gorgeous. I'm just going to drain off this pasta here. Okay, just going to bring it over to the bowl. Give it a shake off any excess liquid that you've got. I'm just going to pop that into the bowl here. Okay, then all we're going to do now is just take this soya mince and the bolognese. Just going to pop those on there. Just sprinkle over some parmesan. And here we've got some great soya bolognese. But the great thing about this is that you've used up any old bread that you've got, also tomatoes which you've had lying around, and again, if you've got any vegetables, you've popped those in there as well. You don't have to use parmesan, it just happens to be in my fridge. There you go, there's some vegetarian soya bolognese.